Well, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 41 in Be With Me. We're in the book of Ephesians, a very famous verse going to happen here today. It's in Ephesians chapter 6. It's talking about the whole armor of God. I'm going to read about 2/5 of it today. It's from chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes or the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic power. This is over this present darkness, plural, the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm. So that's verse 13. I'm going to stop there. So this is a charge to wear the whole armor of God. The end point is getting his strength and being strong and keeping standing. It's a standability verse. It's a withstandability section. So there has to be awareness and truth and readiness and defensive protection and offensive equipping. So just think of ridiculousness of this. It doesn't say, hey, wear half the armor, go into battle handicapped and be, ineffective and inadequate and unaware and ready to be sidelined. Go into battle unattached and out of communication. It doesn't say that. It says, put on the whole armor, and having done it all, that is, be prepared, be aware, be equipped, be ready, take up the whole armor, and then do something, which is the end point, at least one of the end points, is strength. So, good question, are you strong? And that is, we looked at that back in chapter 4:14, was when the headwinds come, what happens? Are you childish, knuckle-headed, selfish, disobedient, self-centered, tossed to and fro? Or what this passage is getting at is we want a resilient group of people that have, it's one of the characteristics of a good church, that is, when trouble comes, that you're equipped and not tossed around, you're grown up, you're not immature, so that when tested, we said this was actually a good characteristic of a mature Christian as well as a mature church, is that when tested, they have stood their ground. So a good church member, when you are hit by waves, and remember, it's not like, oh, I hope never to get hit by waves. No, you will be hit by waves. The question is, are you going to be tossed, or will we find you dug in, reliable, embedded, faithful, dependent, a standing person here, interdependent with other people? So that's the goal that he's getting for this. So this started, remember, with all this theology and all this seeing the face of God and the characteristics of God, and now we're getting into the right behaviors. And one of the behaviors that he's talking about, or at least a characteristic of the behavior, is reliability and backbone. So are you demonstrating a certain character when the fur flies? So the source ultimately is in the Lord. That's right off the bat. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. So strong in the Lord, it's ultimately his strength. The power is coming from him. It's his might. So our fuel must be sourced rightly. And the reason is because of the enemy. So let's just talk about the enemy for a second. So first of all, it's all plural. So it's rulers, authorities, cosmic powers. And I'm not sure if this is an organized group or if they're unified in their onslaught or if they're disorganized, but it seems kind of pretty universal. The cosmic powers here, so this present darkness, and then there, the spiritual forces of evil are actually even otherworldly in the heavenly places. So you have, our enemy is both here and like intergalactically. So that's a very sobering thing, saying, boy, I better be ready for this kind of fight. All right, so what kind of a fight is it? Let's talk about that. It talks about schemes or the wiles or it's going to be tricky. Have you ever met somebody, and maybe it's you, where you said, hey, I don't know how I got into this mess, or this mess, or man, I didn't think it was going to turn out like this, or this whatever affair or something. This wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So it's tricky. Second point is it's worsening. The worst is probably yet to come. He talks about an evil day. So get ready for all this to withstand in the evil day, as if that day hasn't quite come yet, or at least not the full impact of that day. And then it talks about the full armor. So it's not like you end up and say, oh, I wish I would have had this weapon. So for example, here's the story. So I crashed my bike 5 years ago, and I was wearing a helmet. Now, a bike helmet, years go by before you ever need a bike helmet. And I didn't know when the day was coming, and it was a surprise on the day that it came, or I wouldn't have gone on the ride in the first place. And I ended up flying through the air at a high speed. Before I hit the ground, my thought was, hey, it's not too bad, yet. So then I landed on my head, smashed my helmet into, I think it broke in 10 different, had 10 cracks in it. And it's just a good picture of this. So the evil day came. It came suddenly, but I was armored. I was ready. I was protected. And I remember laying on the ground saying, I should be unconscious right now. But the helmet just did its total job, 100%, got destroyed, and my head didn't get destroyed. So the last thing is that I noted is this is an obligated thing. This is in tomorrow's passage probably. I'm an ambassador in chains, that I may declare it boldly as I ought to speak. So that we are obligated to fight this fight. And we are tasked to run to the battle. I ought to be doing this. I should be a soldier running to the battle rather than running away. And then here's the thing that I want to leave most strongly with us, is that this section isn't like people running away saying, woe is me. No, this is a withstandable, doable onslaught. The arrows that we're going to hear about tomorrow are extinguishable. The enemy is overcomeable. The personnel is enabled and encouraged. It is a standable. The expectation here is that we stand, the withstandability of this all. So the charge today, have you done this all? Are you aware of the armaments that are going to be necessary in the evil day? Does it require more knee time, or more pew time, or more service time, or more podcast time, or more fellowship time? And are you keeping watch? And most importantly, are you ready? Are you ready to fight? Are you commissioned? Are you ready to run to the battle? Or do you find yourself running from the battle, or running from difficult situations, or running from friends that are a mess, or running from truth when it's inconvenient? So remember, this is withstandable. Let's pay attention. Let's be equipped, because your fight is winnable. The temptation is overcomeable. The thinking is correctable. And at the end result, we want to find you standing. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.